Take a slow breath with me now and feel the quiet miracle of being alive. Before a single thought of worry enters your mind, before the noise of the world begins its chorus of demands, there is this sacred moment, this breath, this awareness, this gentle presence that says, I am. And in those two words lives the entire universe of possibility. I am. Not I was, not I will be, I am. To trust God is to trust the very life that is breathing you right now. You do not wake yourself up in the morning. You do not command your heart to beat through the night. You do not consciously instruct the sun to rise, yet it does. There is an intelligence, a loving, unseen force that orchestrates galaxies and also orchestrates the rhythm of your lungs. And when you begin your day with gratitude, you align yourself with that force. You move from resistance into harmony, from fear into faith, from scarcity into abundance. Trusting God is not a passive act. It is not resignation. It is a profound declaration. I am willing to release the illusion of control and rest in the wisdom of the infinite. The ego will whisper something very different. It will say, you must worry to be responsible. You must fear to stay safe. You must compare to stay relevant. But the ego lives in separation. It thrives on the belief that you are alone in a hostile universe, that blessings are rare, that love is conditional, that success belongs to the chosen few. Yet look at nature. The sun does not select a few homes to shine upon. The rain does not fall only on the deserving. The ocean does not withhold its waves because someone doubted it yesterday. Nature is the visible expression of God's abundance. And you are not separate from nature. You are not separate from that intelligence. You are an individualized expression of it. When you trust God, you are not trusting something outside of you. You are trusting the divine presence within you. Imagine an orange in your hand. If you squeeze it, what comes out? Orange juice. Why? Because that is what was inside. When life squeezes you, what comes out? Fear, anger, resentment, or love, gratitude, faith. Whatever comes out was already there. The morning is your opportunity to decide what you will fill yourself with before the squeezing begins. Fill yourself with thankfulness. Say quietly to yourself, I am grateful for this breath. I am grateful for this body. I am grateful for another chance to love. Feel how those words shift your energy. Gratitude is not just a polite response to good fortune. It is a spiritual technology. It recalibrates your entire being to the frequency of abundance. The ego says, I will be thankful when things improve. The soul says, be thankful now and watch how things improve. Trust is an act of surrender, but not surrender to weakness. It is surrender to wisdom. The oak tree does not strain to grow. It trusts the soil, the rain, the sunlight. It does not wake up anxious about tomorrow's weather. It stands rooted, steady, certain that the same force that created it sustains it. You are that oak tree. You are not your anxious thoughts. You are not your past mistakes. You are not the labels that were placed upon you by people who did not see your divinity. You are a spiritual being having a temporary human experience. And as a spiritual being, you were born connected to the source of all creation. The ego wants you to believe that you are the wave fighting against the ocean. But the truth is, you are the ocean expressing itself as a wave. And the wave does not need to fear the future because it cannot be separated from the vastness that created it. This morning, choose to remember your vastness. There may be challenges ahead today. There may be uncertainties. There may be moments when the old habits of fear try to reclaim your attention, but you are not required to attend every argument your mind invites you to. You can observe your thoughts and gently say, thank you for your opinion, and return to trust. Trust that every experience is guiding you. Trust that every delay has a purpose. Trust that what appears as a setback may be a redirection towards something more aligned with your soul's growth. Gratitude transforms your perception, and perception is everything. Two people can walk into the same room. One sees lack, competition, and threat. The other sees opportunity, connection, and potential. The room is the same. The difference is consciousness. When you trust God and give thanks, you are choosing the lens of abundance. Ask yourself, what if this day is not happening to me but for me? What if every interaction is a teacher? What if even the difficulties are blessings in disguise, sculpting my character, strengthening my faith, deepening my compassion? There are no accidents in a divinely organized universe. The ego loves to replay the past. It says, remember what happened, remember how you were hurt, remember how you failed, and in doing so, it attempts to anchor you to an identity built on memory. But you are not your past. The past exists only as a thought in the present moment. And this moment is new, untouched, pure. When you thank God for today, you are stepping out of yesterday's shadow. Forgiveness becomes easier when you trust the divine plan. If everything has contributed to your growth, then even the painful chapters have served you. And if they have served you, you can release resentment. There are no justified resentments in a universe governed by love. Holding on to anger is like gripping a burning coal and expecting someone else to feel the pain. Let it go. Say, I trust that what happened was part of my unfolding. I choose gratitude over grievance. This is not denial, it is empowerment. To be thankful is to acknowledge that life itself is a gift. You did not earn your heartbeat. You did not purchase your consciousness. These were given freely. And when you begin to see your life as a gift rather than an entitlement, everything changes. The sky does not argue with the clouds. It allows them to pass. You are the sky, not the clouds. Thoughts, emotions, circumstances, they move through you, but they are not you. Beneath them is an unchanging awareness, peaceful, spacious, eternal. Trust that awareness. When you are centered in your spiritual identity, you are less shaken by external events. You understand that the true source of your security is not your bank account, your title, or others' approval. Your security is rooted in your connection to the divine, and that connection is unbreakable. You may forget it, you may ignore it, but you cannot lose it. This morning, before you step into your responsibilities, anchor yourself in this truth. I am guided, I am supported, I am loved. Let those words sink deeper than your doubts. Let them echo louder than your fears. Gratitude opens doors that force cannot. When you appreciate what you have, you signal to the universe that you are ready for more. Not more from a place of greed, but more from a place of alignment. Abundance is not something you chase. It is something you allow. Consider the river. It flows effortlessly around rocks. It does not resist obstacles. It moves with them. When you trust God, you become like the river, flexible, adaptable, confident that you will reach the ocean no matter how winding the path. There is immense freedom in releasing the need to control every outcome. Control is the ego's attempt to feel safe in an unpredictable world. Trust is the soul's recognition that the world is not random, but purposeful. Even now, there are blessings unfolding that you cannot yet see. Perhaps a conversation later today will spark an idea. Perhaps an unexpected delay will protect you from something unseen. Perhaps a moment of kindness will ripple outward in ways you will never fully know. Trust that life is conspiring in your favor. When you wake up thankful, you are not ignoring problems. You are choosing a higher vantage point. From the mountaintop of gratitude, challenges look smaller. They become stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. Ask yourself, who would I be today if I truly trusted God? How would I speak? How would I walk? How would I treat others? You would move with gentleness. You would act with courage. You would extend compassion, knowing that every person you meet is also navigating their own spiritual journey. Trust dissolves comparison. There is no need to compete when you understand that the same source that animates you animates everyone. The success of another does not diminish your light. We are not candles fighting for flame. We are reflections of the same sun. Be thankful not only for your blessings, but for the blessings of others. Celebrate their joy as evidence of what is possible in a universe of abundance. Gratitude is magnetic. It attracts more reasons to be grateful. But perhaps you say, it's hard to feel thankful when I'm facing uncertainty. And I understand that. The human experience includes pain, loss, and confusion. Trusting God does not mean you will never feel sadness. It means you will not drown in it. It means you will remember that beneath the waves of emotion, there is an ocean of peace. Allow yourself to feel, but do not forget to trust. There is a quiet intelligence within you that knows the next step. When you slow down, when you breathe, when you release the frantic need to have all the answers, you can hear it. It speaks in intuition, in nudges, in gentle clarity. The soul always knows. Begin your day in conversation with that inner voice. Ask, what would love have me do today? And then listen. When your actions are guided by love rather than fear, You become an instrument of divine will. You bring light into rooms without trying. You uplift others simply by your presence. Thankfulness softens your heart, and a soft heart is a powerful heart. Imagine what would happen if millions of people began their mornings with gratitude instead of complaint. The collective energy would shift, conflict would lessen, generosity would increase. Peace would become more than an ideal. It would become a lived reality. You contribute to that shift. Every time you choose trust over anxiety, you elevate not only your own consciousness, but the consciousness of the world. Do not underestimate the power of a thankful heart. This day is not guaranteed. It is a sacred opportunity, an invitation to express your highest self, to forgive, to create, to serve, to love. As you move forward, carry this awareness: you are never alone. The same presence that paints the sunrise walks with you into every meeting, every task, every decision. You can lean into that presence. You can whisper, "Guide me," and guidance will come. Perhaps not always in the way you expect, but always in the way you need. Trust that delays are divine timing. Trust that closed doors are redirections. Trust that even unanswered prayers are part of a greater orchestration. And give thanks now before you see the evidence. Say, "Thank you for the blessings I recognize, and thank you for the blessings I have yet to see." Feel how that expands your heart. When you trust God, fear loses its authority. It may still knock, but it no longer commands. You become anchored in something deeper than circumstance. You are anchored in being. The world may try to pull you into chaos. Headlines may shout. Opinions may clash. But within you is a sanctuary, a stillness untouched by external turbulence. Return to that stillness throughout your day. Close your eyes for a moment, even now, and feel the aliveness within you. That aliveness is not anxious. It is not hurried. It simply is. Rest there. From that place, gratitude flows naturally. And as you cultivate gratitude, you will begin to notice small miracles. A smile from a stranger, the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the comfort of familiar voices. These are not trivial. They are reminders of love woven into ordinary moments. Trust God not only in the grand events, but in the quiet details. You are supported in ways you cannot measure. So step into this day with confidence, not because you have everything figured out, but because you trust the one who does. Step into this day with humility, knowing that you are both a masterpiece and a work in progress. Step into this day with gratitude, recognizing that life itself is the greatest blessing. Say within your heart, "I am open, I am thankful, I trust." And let those words guide your thoughts. Let them shape your actions. Let them become the foundation of your experience. For when you trust God and give thanks for His blessings, you are not merely hoping for a good day, you are creating one from the inside out. You are aligning with the infinite. You are remembering who you truly are. And in that remembrance, you find freedom. And as this new breath enters your body, recognize that it carries with it a quiet promise that life is not against you, it is for you. There is a benevolent intelligence woven into every atom of existence, and that same intelligence is animating your thoughts, your movements, your very awareness in this moment. You are not an accident drifting through random circumstances. You are a deliberate expression of divine creativity, unfolding in perfect rhythm, even when the rhythm feels unfamiliar. When you awaken with reverence for this unseen orchestration, something subtle begins to change within you. You stop measuring your worth by outcomes. You stop bargaining with the future. Instead, you begin to participate in life as a sacred dance. You move with it rather than against it. You allow instead of resist. And in that allowing, a quiet strength emerges, not the forceful strength of dominance, but the unshakable strength of alignment. Think of the vast sky stretching endlessly above you. Clouds gather, storms pass through, winds howl for a season, yet the sky remains untouched. It does not cling to the sunshine, nor fear the thunder. It simply holds space for all of it. You are that sky. Circumstances are the clouds. Gratitude is the clear blue openness that reminds you of your true nature. When you begin your day anchored in appreciation, you are choosing to identify with the sky rather than the storm. So many of us have been conditioned to believe that security comes from external arrangements, from approval, from possessions, from predictability. But the deeper truth is that real security arises from inner communion. It is the quiet knowing that no matter what unfolds, you remain connected to the source from which all solutions flow. This connection cannot be revoked. It cannot be diminished by criticism or failure. It is as constant as the tide. Imagine the ocean for a moment. Waves rise and fall endlessly. Some are gentle, some are powerful, some crash against rocks with tremendous force. But beneath the surface turbulence lies a depth so calm, so steady, that the chaos above barely disturbs it. When you trust God, you learn to live from that depth. You still experience the waves, the responsibilities, the challenges, the uncertainties, but you are no longer defined by their motion. You draw your identity from the stillness below. And from that stillness, gratitude becomes effortless. It is no longer something you force yourself to practice. It becomes the natural fragrance of your being. You begin to see that every encounter is part of your refinement. Every relationship is a mirror reflecting where love is, asking to grow. Every obstacle is an invitation to remember your resilience. There is a sacred maturity that develops when you stop demanding that life conform to your preferences and instead begin asking how you can serve the highest good in every situation. This is not passivity. It is empowerment at its purest. You are no longer reacting from fear. You are responding from wisdom. As you step into your day, notice how different it feels to move from intention rather than impulse. Before you speak, pause and let your words arise from compassion. Before you judge, soften your gaze and look for understanding. Before you rush, breathe and feel the quiet assurance that you have enough time for what truly matters. Time itself begins to shift when you live this way. The frantic urgency that once drove you starts to dissolve. You realize that the present moment is not something to endure on the way to something better. It is the very arena in which divine grace is unfolding. What if the miracle you have been waiting for is hidden inside the ordinary? What if the transformation you seek is not in some distant breakthrough, but in the gentle discipline of choosing trust over doubt, moment by moment? When you express appreciation before the evidence appears, you are demonstrating spiritual courage. You are declaring that your faith is not conditional. You are affirming that the unseen realm is as real to you as the visible one. And in doing so, you activate a deeper partnership with life itself. Consider the seed planted beneath the soil. From the outside, it appears dormant, even lifeless. Yet within its shell, an invisible process is underway. Roots begin to form. Life stirs in darkness long before any green shoot breaks the surface. If the seed could speak, perhaps it would say, "I trust the process. I cannot see." In many ways, you are that seed. There are developments taking place within you that may not yet be visible to the world. Patience, resilience, insight, these qualities are germinating in silence. Be thankful for the growth that is happening beneath appearances. You are evolving beyond the limitations you once accepted as permanent. Old identities are loosening their grip. Stories that once defined you are dissolving. And although change can feel unsettling, it is also evidence that you are alive, that you are expanding beyond the familiar. Trust that the discomfort of transformation is not a sign of failure, but of progress. Every morning is an initiation, a sacred doorway into renewed possibility. Yesterday's doubts need not accompany you. They may knock, but you are not required to invite them inside. Instead, open the door to gratitude. Welcome curiosity, welcome wonder. Look at your hands. These hands can create, can comfort, can contribute. Look at your eyes. They can perceive beauty in the smallest detail. Look at your heart. It has endured, forgiven, and continued to beat through joys and sorrows alike. There is so much within you that deserves appreciation. When you honor your own existence as a blessing, you naturally begin to honor the existence of others. Judgment softens, compassion expands. You recognize that everyone you meet is carrying invisible hopes and hidden fears. And because you are anchored in trust, you can become a source of reassurance rather than reactivity. This is how transformation spreads quietly, person to person, heart to heart. There is a profound humility in acknowledging that you are both guided and guiding. You receive inspiration from a higher wisdom, and through your actions, you become a channel for that wisdom to flow outward. In this way, your gratitude is not confined to private reflection. It becomes embodied in how you treat the world. Walk gently, speak truthfully, act generously. These are not mere moral suggestions, they are expressions of alignment. When you live in harmony with the divine intelligence within you, your external life begins to mirror that harmony. Opportunities arise that resonate with your integrity. Relationships deepen in authenticity. Even challenges become more manageable because you approach them from clarity rather than panic. Trust does not guarantee ease, but it guarantees meaning. And meaning is what sustains the human spirit. When you perceive your experiences as purposeful, even difficulty becomes bearable. You begin to ask, what is this teaching me? Instead of, why is this happening to me? That subtle shift in inquiry transforms victimhood into empowerment. Gratitude fuels this shift. It reminds you that even when circumstances are imperfect, there is still goodness present. There is still breath. There is still awareness. There is still choice. You always retain the power to choose your inner posture. Today, choose to stand in reverence for the life moving through you. Choose to speak silently within your heart. I am supported in ways I may not yet understand. I am guided toward experiences that refine my character and expand my love. I am grateful for the path unfolding before me. Feel how those declarations recalibrate your nervous system. Feel how your shoulders soften, how your breath deepens. The body responds to belief. When you cultivate trust, your entire physiology aligns with calm confidence. And from that calm confidence, creativity blossoms. Ideas begin to surface. Solutions reveal themselves. Conversations flow more naturally. You become receptive to inspiration because your mind is no longer cluttered with constant resistance. There is a generosity in the universe that responds to openness. When you are inwardly closed, guarded by suspicion or resentment, you limit the flow of that generosity. But when you open through appreciation, you invite abundance to circulate freely. This is not superstition. It is resonance. Like attracts like. A thankful heart resonates with provision. A trusting mind resonates with guidance. A peaceful spirit resonates with clarity. Let this day be an experiment in resonance. Notice what happens when you approach each moment as sacred. Notice how interactions shift when you silently bless them before they unfold. Notice how your energy changes when you release the need to win and instead focus on understanding. You are here not merely to accomplish tasks, but to awaken. And awakening begins with awareness. Awareness that you are more than your roles, more than your achievements, more than your mistakes. You are consciousness itself, expressing temporarily through a human form. When you remember this, even ordinary routines take on a luminous quality. Washing dishes becomes an act of mindfulness. Driving to work becomes an opportunity for reflection. Listening becomes a form of service. Life ceases to be divided into sacred and mundane. Everything becomes sacred. Trust God not only in dramatic turning points, but in these quiet rituals. The divine is not confined to mountaintops or temples. It is present in your kitchen, in your workplace, in your daily conversations. And as you continue through this day, allow yourself to be surprised by grace. Allow yourself to see evidence of support where you once saw obstacles. Allow yourself to receive kindness without suspicion and to offer kindness without expectation. This is how a good day is created, not by eliminating uncertainty, but by infusing uncertainty with faith. You are walking through a world that is alive with possibility. Beneath every challenge lies potential. Within every ending lies the seed of a new beginning. And within you lies a wisdom that is ancient, steady, and infinitely compassionate. Trust it, give thanks for it, and move forward knowing that you are never navigating this journey alone.